Who the hell is this guy? Spoon Boy in The Matrix has always been a bit of a mystery, partly because it became a bit of a meme when it first came out, and along with the other children in the Oracle's apartment too. So this video will cover these topics that you see on screen right now. So firstly, what is a potential? The Matrix is a big computer simulation, we all know this, and the way that the Red Pills and all the other rebels get their powers is by just realising that they are in a computer simulation. The more they realise it, the more awareness they have, the more powers they have, and that's partly what gives Neo his powers, as he is the most rebellious out of all the Red Pills. He does not take authority. So, as Morpheus says, when people reach a certain age, they kind of don't like to be woken up, and they can have a very dangerous reaction to realising that the world around them is fake. So, they aim for children. So it's children who are the age group that are most receptive of a brand new reality. So what it means is that when the Red Pills or the Rebels encounter a child who is starting to question the reality, they become a potential. They are given to the Oracle to be trained and to just understand exactly what the Matrix is and have their powers trained. Of course, the benefit to the Rebels to having these potentials being trained is that then there's more troops for them, when they grow up, more soldiers to fight the machines, and also there's less people still plugged in to be a threat, because remember, as Morpheus says, everyone who's still plugged in is a potential agent. So what it means is that they want to hunt for more and more potentials, more and more children who are questioning their reality, as many as possible. The movies only feature some of these potentials, for example Spoon Boy and the few other children you see in the background there. However, there are plenty more potentials that we learn about in other Matrix media. The comics have quite a few, the Path of Neo video game has a few as well, and I'd love to actually cover these in a separate video, so if you'd like to see that, please tell me below. Do not try and bend the spoon, that's impossible. Instead, only try to realise the truth. There is no spoon. Then you'll see that it is not the spoon that bends, it is only yourself. This is the famous line that Spoon Boy says to Neo when Neo first encounters the Oracle. When you first watched The Matrix, did you work out what that meant? I know that when I first watched it I was really confused, but thinking about it a bit more and watching it again, you realise it makes total sense. Spoon Boy is basically saying that there is no spoon, there is no apartment, there is no nothing, it's all just electrical virtual reality, that's it. And if it's fake, it can be faked even more, it can be bent, it can be just destroyed, whatever, it doesn't matter. So Spoon Boy is merely trying to increase Neo's awareness of the world around him. See, Neo recalls this during the mission when he's trying to rescue Morpheus from the agents at the end of The Matrix 1. Neo actually repeats the phrase, "there is no spoon," to himself. Then he shoots that cable on top of the lift and zooms up. As the lift drops down below, the bomb goes off. Neo there was able to slightly bend the laws of physics, just a little bit, so that he could exactly zoom up exactly as he wanted. That "there is no spoon" gave Neo that extra little boost to be able to go, no, I'm going to do this, I believe I can do it, so therefore I can do it. Now, we don't see much of Spoon Boy in The Matrix. We only see this one scene here and his powers to basically bend objects, and a couple potentials around him have the power to float objects as well. But, as we see in the Matrix comic Artistic Freedom, he has more power as well. In this comic, we see that Spoon Boy is just walking through the city. He's still wearing his same kind of strange toga, so therefore we can kind of assume that he's still under the Oracle's care at this point. He's in Mega City and he sees a shop full of TVs showing an art piece by an artist called Raven Underwell. Raven Underwell's exhibit features sculptures at the Headnet Gallery, and all of these sculptures are causing people to have nightmares. These sculptures are, as we know, sentinels and weird machine robot things. So as the comic goes on, we see that people are seeing these sentinel sculpture things and going, oh no, they remind me of a strange dream I had too. They're causing panic attacks and all this stuff. And of course we know the reason is that every time a plugged-in human sees something that resembles a sentinel, it triggers a slight thing in the back of their mind that reminds them that they are in the pod, they are in the pod, they are in the pod, and they just kind of like have a panic attack right there, and then they go, oh my god, this sentinel is causing me to have a nightmare. So Spoon Boy sees this art exhibit, and he learns that you can only get in by having an invitation. The TV journalist, she's saying, oh, well, I've got my ticket, so I'm going to be there, but then suddenly the ticket pops out of her hand and appears in Spoon Boy's hand. Therefore, we can see that Spoon Boy has the power to teleport objects. Spoon Boy then looked closer at the ticket, seeing all the Matrix code, and was able to teleport himself to the art exhibit. He walks in, listens to Raven Underwell being interviewed on the TV, and she tells the story of how, in her words, she had a dream where she was in a big red pod and saw all these strange floating black monsters with tentacles and stuff. Of course, we know what she actually did was wake up into the real world, into her actual red pod, and see all the sentinels that were kind of taking control of her body. So in her words, she then wakes up and draws all these crazy creatures and creates them into a sculpture. This then gave her massive success as an artist. The problem is, it causes everyone who sees the Sentinel sculptures to have all these nightmares. Raven then walks up to Spoonboy and asks him what he thinks of the exhibit. She then has a vision. She suddenly blacks out. She envisions all of her sculptures coming to life, killing people and destroying the entire city. During this vision, Raven runs into the streets, trying to escape all these crazy Sentinel sculptures that have come to life. But with nowhere to run, she sees a telephone booth, which was actually ringing. For some reason, she walks up to it because she felt like she was compelled to. She picks up the phone. The voice on the phone says, "It is not enough to believe what you see. You must also understand what you see." So here we can kind of take that as the Spoonboy creating the vision for Raven Underwell. So again, another power that Spoonboy has is the ability to project things into people's minds. So after the phone booth gets destroyed, she can still hear the voice going on in her head. She looks to the side and sees a broken wall, and beyond it, an endless graveyard. In that moment, she realizes that those weird floating machines that she turned her art exhibit into are not these kind of nice, motherly caretakers. No, they are her authoritative evil overseers. Suddenly, she pops back to reality, or not reality, she pops back out of her vision, and she's in the gallery. Everything is as normal. But this time, she looks lifeless. She looks at her sculptures. They are just there, standing there just like normal sculptures, but she has suddenly changed her mind. She says, "No, I'm not okay. I'm a fool. Please forgive me." The Spoonboy walks out of the gallery, which had just begun serving appetizers, and as a little kind of Easter egg, the people look at each other and say, this food tastes like soup, and complaining that there are no spoons. So, just a little joke. So that's the end of that comic, the artistic freedom. Later, in The Matrix Reloaded, Neo was about to leave Zion to see the Oracle, and Kid, Michael Karl Popper, catches up with Neo to give him a gift. He says that it's a gift from one of the orphans. He made me swear to give it to you before you left. He said you'd understand. So Neo opens it, and it's a spoon, but like a really kind of raggedy real-world spoon. The idea here is that Spoonboy is signifying to Neo that he has now been freed from the Matrix. So after all those years of being a kid who's kind of like working out that the world around him is a bit weird, he has now woken up from the Matrix and is in the real world. So let's summarise what Spoonboy actually could do. He's got a few powers. So first power, telekinesis. We know straight away from the Matrix film that he was able to bend spoons just with the power of his mind. Oh, and also, as a little kind of Easter egg again, at the very end of the comic, he rejigs the words on Head Neck Gallery to spell the end as a signpost. Another power, teleportation. So here we can see that he was able to teleport that ticket from the TV reporter's hand to his own hand. Then he looked at the ticket a bit more, and he was able to teleport himself to the art gallery. Interestingly though, he wasn't able to just do this out of the blue. No, see, when he teleported the ticket, he had to actually look into the TV screen and reach out his hand. And then when he wanted to teleport himself, he had to look into the ticket, into the green code, and then teleport himself that way. And the third power, quite a big power, is telepathy. So as well as manipulating the objects and all this stuff, he was able to give Raven Underwell a vision that he created, his own little construct in a way. It was the vision that made her realise that she was wrong all along, so it's a very powerful vision. He was even able to communicate to her inside the vision with a voice on a telephone. Arguably, this might be the most powerful of all three powers, because it was able to literally change her mind. He was able to go into her emotions. If you'd like to watch a video going into detail and fully exploring potentials in the Matrix, then please comment below. There's a bunch more potentials featured in the Matrix comics and video games, so honestly I'd love to make it. Thank you for watching that, everybody. If it was a help to you and you really liked learning about the Matrix lore, then please subscribe to Jam Punch, and I'll be releasing a brand new Matrix Explained video every single week. My name is George, this is Jam Punch, and I'll see you next time.